Hey.
Hey, True Believers England team here. We're live again. We're going to have just a little hangout, talk about whatever the hell you guys want. RDV's enjoying midnight snack. I actually got these now.
That's Todd shoes too. I got everything, man.
I've been grabbing onto these trail mixes. You know, they've got one called Birthday Cake. When does it stop being like a trail mix and it just candy? Like, have you ever had a granola bar now? They've got chocolate chips and freaking nougat in them. I mean, it's a candy bar. It's nothing, but
well,
yeah.
I mean, they used to be a granola bar. Now it's everything but the granola. Yeah, yeah. Right. It's like having Rice Krispie treat. Bar.
Yeah, but I've been trying different flavors of this. It just turns out I just like the original. You know, that's the way
I just like putting anything in my body that I know it's going to kill me later on. Like I have cans of Mountain Dew here. I got beef jerky. I got cottage cheese. I'm going to die later on.
Bart's red cream soda is my poison. I just want a little carbonation because I drink about this much tea.
My sister got this for you. I've never had Jones in my
life. That's not bad.
Is it cane sugar? Is it the real sugar?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so anywho, I was actually but what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? And then a title popped into my head because I know it's been going around. I watched a video with Perch earlier. Not like we watched it together, but he did the video, and I was okay. I'll see what Perch is talking about.
We should have done.
And well, it was about the 3 things that are killing comics. You know, and we've talked. This is, guys, I've said it before. I'll say it again. This is stuff we were talking about 7 years ago. It's amazing that we're back. Where it's just done a full circle. Everything that they have talked about, I've got a video here for. We're running over some well-tread ground, I should say.
I would have called this Gail Simone saving the X-Men.
Isn't it though?
That's a title I'd click on and out of rage and then find out, hey, they agree with me.
Yeah, I guess I tried to be too clever. Something is killing the comic, says Jackson.
Try harder.
Well, what he mentioned was the fact that it's hard to find comic shops anymore, especially now that you're having a lot of them closed down. That it's too expensive, and that comic books are boring.
I wouldn't say it's too. I mean, if you want new books, the people who there's always older books you can get. I found like the newer books. You wait a year, they're 25 cents. It's expensive.
He was bringing up specifically, it's expensive for new readers. It's expensive for kids. When we were kids, definitely Eric and I, when we were kids, our comics were not as big a part of our allowances, of our paychecks and such. They were about what, 35 cents, you know, what I guess actually talked about. I remember you would be getting paid about $3.50 an hour. So it's
I didn't get comic books till I was 18 because one didn't know they actually had shops. I thought they were just like in the magazine racks at the grocery store. That was it.
But it goes to say they're not trying for new readers. At the same time, they're pushing the loyal readers away. They, according to a video, I didn't see it, but according to a video by Wes, he was talking about how that whole thing about, oh, there's so many women out there reading comics, that turned out to be fraudulent. So they kicked us aside for an audience, and we've said it for years, an audience that doesn't exist. Go on ahead, Eric.
No, so they took the results of a poll that was taken as the MCU was thriving and got women to say, we like comics, but I guess they didn't wait around for him to finish the sentence, which was comic book movies.
Movies, yeah. We like comic book movies.
And
yeah.
Someone let
Montanui, what's up?
The industry.
Even if they are dying, it's very slow. Now, we have people on the other side. No, how are you saying it's dying? Look, this comic books are selling better than ever.
You know who says that? People that haven't been around, weren't around for the halcyon days of comic books.
Yeah, and also like what's actually selling are mangas, and European comics, the bande dessinées.
the Captain Underpants and the Dog Boys or whatever it's called. Yeah. Montanui saying that even if they're dying, it's very slow. YouTube filtered that last one for some reason. We got it. And hello to Samuel saying, when I was a boy. When I was a boy, when I was a kid. Actually, when I was a boy. When I was a kid, and I would actually go out and try to find work. Usually we did, we would go into an office building. Can we take your trash? Can we do this? Can we get you lunch? That kind of stuff. And, you know, they would usually, here's $10, go to the local whatever, and then grab me this kind of sandwich. We'd take the orders, and usually they gave us the change. To which, you know, for a 10-year-old kid, that was a lot of money. That's a lot of video games and comic books. And, you know, we would get stacks of comics for $5, $6, $7. I remember being excited that I would have $7 because that meant I could get 10 comics. And isn't that awesome, you know? 50 cents, holy shit. Yeah.
And it wasn't long ago when I was a kid, I could go to a restaurant and I could work distributing pamphlets for an hour for the guy. I could take $10 and I could buy 10 comic books.
Yeah, even when
it was the 90s, guys. It wasn't so long ago.
Yeah, go ahead, Bank.
When I was 18, that was around 2003. Sorry for Eric, you know, that's I know I'm young, but honestly, I had access to comic books, but I said, screw it. I'm enjoying video games. Xbox 360 was way better than any freaking comic book that was coming out at the time.
Well, that's one of the big problems. That's why, you know, you hear, oh, well, comic books are dying, blah, 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 yada, yada. They're up against a lot different kind of entertainment than when we were kids. Sure, we would go to the movies and all, but even that wasn't so expensive. But the problem was that they were accessible to children. They were accessible to even tweens and such who would get an allowance or maybe go out and mow lawns to get a few bucks. You know, nowadays that's not the case. When you're talking about $4 or $5 base comics, a lot of times these odd jobs are still getting a $5 from parents or maybe a 10. It's not like this, you know, back then, if we got a $5 bill, if we got $10, holy shit, that's an entire afternoon at the arcade.
Yeah, and when I was 18, which was 2013, sorry, old farts.
88 and 78, right, Eric?
Yep.
Yeah.
So basically, they have, like right now, there's more competition for your buck than anything else. Like a comic book, like you're saying, is a single issue, 20 pages is $4 or $5, while I think the price has gone up, but a while back, an entire month's subscription of one of the manga sites was what, $2.99, and that would give you access to multiple books, multiple animes. I think recently they got bought out and they hiked the price up, but up till a few years ago, it was cheap. Like think if your Netflix subscription or any streaming service subscription, you have an entire library, or you can spend that same amount on what, 2-3 books, each 20 pages.
Now, we are getting answers. First of all, MK, I love the idea of doing a tier list of comic book movie posters. That is awesome because you don't have to have seen the movies in order to comment. That's a great idea. His second question, and this is on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you all rate your comic book knowledge, and who do you think here has the highest? Let's answer the second one first. Eric. I think Eric, among us, I think Eric has the on the stream. On the stream. On the stream. But hold on. Let me finish up here. Yeah. Okay, so me and Eric talked about this last night. I know a lot about comics. My problem is my memory. You know, I'm thinking Punisher and I say Vigilante. You know, that kind of thing. I know a lot about comics. I know a lot about the history, as I was pointing out to Eric, because I like reading books like this. You know, I love reading books like this, which talks about the history and such. I bow to Eric's knowledge. Both he and I, even though he's not here, we'll want to give a shout out. We'll say Paolo any day of the week.
Well, I would say Paolo and Joe Corral are kind of like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
They
Paolo is over Joe. I said Joe. I probably, if push comes to shove, I probably know as much, if not more, than Joe because I've been reading longer and he's been breathing.
Mm-hmm.
But Paolo he studies it. He studies to be a comic historian, and he's got incredible retention in his memory. It's because a lot of people don't. I mean,
most young people do.
He's in his 40s. I'm trying to be serious for once here. So
he's only 40.
Just go sit under a rocking chair there, kid. He's got. I mean, like I said, it's almost photographic, his memory, because I said it's. Yeah, I mean, it's just. I said, and he studies all parts of comic book history and global. I don't know squat about comics outside of America.
Yeah, same here.
You guys want to hear something of how editorial of Marvel and DC are stupid? In my country, we are the guys who make Marvel and DC here is Panini. They wanted to get, if you're 12 years or younger, they want to get free comic access for them, so they could get a new audience. Guess what Marvel and DC said?
No.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Why would they not have an audience, guys? I wonder
that should
why.
be Free Comic Book Day, and they could very well do things like put out unsold issues or something like that. That would actually help get that. Okay, now if I'm taking a guess here, I do not know cartoons and comics as well as the others, so I'm going to set him aside here, and I mean no disrespect. But once again, I would say I would concede to Eric, but I would put myself as second. And I got to tell you, both Dominic and Evil Black Cat know a ton about comics. It's almost surprising because of their age. That being said, from what I've discovered, I could be wrong about this. I think Evil Black Cat has a more modern take, and Dominic has goes a little bit further back as far as knowledge of comics. So if I were to rank, I would go Eric, myself, Dominic, Evil Black Cat, and then RDV. But RDV has been picking up. He's been reading more Golden Age, more different genres of comic books. So I think this is a pretty damn good pretty good darn panel as far as comic knowledge goes. And once again, I don't know exactly cartoon and comics knowledge.
I'll just say this: the guy who's usually the smartest doesn't say he's the smartest.
I didn't, and neither did Eric, by the way.
Well, I was going to say that, I know you were making a joke before, Cap, but my memory wasn't anywhere near as good as yours when I was the age you are now. So there's something to be said for that. I wish it had been, but I said that because I'm usually impressed by just how many like storylines and stuff you can pull out from like the past 20, 25 years.
Yeah, it's very good. And that's one thing I love, and I wish we did talk more about comics and such like that, and what was good and what was bad. I do want to get together with, because you mentioned that you wanted to do some videos, Evil Black Cat, talking about stories. Well, I just read Death of the Family. I've read, what else did I checked out the Trinity War, Gods and Monsters. Well, half of Gods and Monsters. I can't go. I mean, it is a boring ass book. It's so disappointed in that book. But yeah, I'd love to. He turned into Porky Pig there. Sometimes they just you can't say. But in general, this entire group has been good about what they know. That's why when we do the auctions, It's more about what's in the books than the value. Yeah, I do the big dogs and such like that. For the most part, we're like, hey, you should pick this up because it's a good book. You know, not just because, oh, this is going to go up in value. That's going to go up in value. Maranya has to be the Iron Man official. Yeah, Maranya is a specialist. I don't think anybody, including Paolo, could really knock her around when it comes to it.
Even Black Cat is more like the Batman specialist when it comes to like 80s stuff. He also knows what the best Supergirl is, and that was, you know, the Jeff Lemire one with Uncle Turner.
That was Jeff Loeb.
Jeff Loeb.
Oh,
That was
sorry.
Jeff Loeb.
Who cares?
Yeah, it absolutely was the second best Supergirl run.
It was better than Peter David's.
Speaking
Go
of
lay
which-
down.
Nope.
Speaking
Can
of
I?
which,
All right,
has
can I
any-
get this?
Those are
Ghost,
funny.
Venkman with the Ghostbuster books for sure. He's got to know Slimer's origin.
Has
Yes.
anyone heard the news of the Long Halloween getting the third installment, like after Dark Victories?
Well, it's
Why?
when you really think about it, it's more of like, I mean, with this recent announcement, it comes off more as like, so what you're saying is Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, they want to make a quintology because Catwoman Went Rogue happened after Dark Victory and Robin Year One. So it's just the question is there a
No,
demand?
one in Rome didn't happen before year one because Catwoman One in Rome happened between Dark Victories, somewhere within the story.
Well, no. I didn't say When in Rome happened before. I said it happened like during the time period of Dark Victory.
Yeah, and so basically, this is you can count One in Rome or not, but this is the last part of the story that I think was supposed to happen before, but Tim Sale unfortunately died, so it was on hiatus. And now maybe they're gonna finish it with a different artist.
Thank God.
Well, actually, no. It's in the article. It says in each issue is going to be done by a different artist, so it's similar to
Osmo, and then it will get some of these other people who can't draw too.
But-
Yeah, who is like this? I don't know. What is his name? Get the Archie guy, Dan Patterson?
Parents.
Parent. Yeah. Get him to do it.
Nah.
I would just hire John Boy Myers, let him draw it.
No,
I hope they get somebody that can emulate Tim Sale's style personally, because I think it'd be a nice tribute to him.
You know, two people with similar styles. It's that almost cartoonish thing,
Darwin.
and they died way too fucking soon. Sale and Cook, man. Sale and Cook. I did read recently The New Frontier. I saw the movie many times and loved it. It's one of my favorite animated films. But I finally got to read that book. Holy shit, that's so good. That is
I
just
have
an
this
incredible
book
story.
since I was 12.
Uh-huh.
It's probably my favorite Justice League book ever, The New Frontier. Maybe second, just after Crisis on Infinite Earths. God, this is just DC peak.
I know, right? I mean, if New Frontier wasn't in Elseworlds, it would have fit in nicely to the pre-Crisis history of DC before Crisis on Infinite Earths. You know,
I feel the same way about Golden Age. How Golden Age almost seems like the perfect bridge to the Silver Age. It's just, I mean, and that's another incredible story.
You know, I was just thinking about in the past 20 years, the two times I've heard of comic books being mentioned in media. One being when Captain America gets shot and killed, and the other one Superman's gay.
Yeah, we had.
How have felt.
we had the death of Superman. Obviously, that was the big story of the '90s as far as comic books were concerned.
But yeah, into 2000s going up, the past 20 years, it's the only time I can think of where comic books were actually mentioned on the news.
Dan Parent did the gay junket. Yeah, that was huge. That was like Batmania huge.
But I'm just saying that was in the 2000s.
Yeah,
that was
the Superman. I even had that magazine that came with the armband and such. So yeah, it was they went freaking nuts with that thing. So it was fun though. It was a fun time. Fun time in comics. The hell, gotta crush that by 2024, don't we? What do we got? I remember mainstream media mentioning that Captain America was a Nazi in the Hydra agent.
Yeah.
I heard that story existed. I just don't believe it.
Are you guys excited for the Green Lantern Corps movie they're doing? Or showing?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
I mean, they already announced Nathan Fillion's guy. Who's going to be Hal? And please don't tell me he's going to be someone younger than him. That'd be really stupid.
I'm sorry, but Nathan Fillion fits more Hal Jordan than Guy Gardner.
I know.
I've said from day one when I heard they're going to do a Green Lantern live anything, Joel McHale. Joel McHale from Community, and now he's on that Animal TV show. He would be the Starman. Perfect. Yeah, he was really good as Starman, and he would be great as freaking Guy Gardner. That is a missed opportunity.
Now, I mean, if John Cena wasn't casted as Peacemaker, he would have also worked as Guy Gardner.
You know, I could see him hiring Chris Pratt as Guy Gardner.
That would be awesome.
The problem is Nathan Fillion's 53 now.
Yeah, and he'd be perfect for Hal because he's older than all the other ones.
I'd probably put John Cena as John Stewart just to piss off the left. Just, fuck it, you do it.
Why isn't John Cena cast as the new reboot of the Invisible Man?
I don't get it.
You can't see me.
You can't see me.
I don't get it.
He hates it. He hates it. He said he hates it because ever since he's on that, you can't see anything. Because people always online, people are like, where's John Cena? I can't see him. Like, there's a guy who took a photo. He's like, I met John Cena.
Alrighty. Joel McHale voiced Johnny Cage. Didn't Nathan Fillion voice Hal Jordan? Yes, he did.
He did. First night and normal night.
Yeah.
So he voiced Steve Trevor in the Wonder Woman cartoon. It was fantastic.
Yeah, the first Wonder Woman movie. Yeah, that was really good. Oh, goodness gracious. But I don't know. That's who I thought when I heard about the Green Lantern. But then again, on one hand, I'm not excited about a lot of stuff that's coming out, but it's still comic book content. I understand what we've been getting recently, but I still want to see it, and I'm hoping that we'll get good stuff again. I've got a lot of faith in James Gunn just because, well, he really hasn't done bad in my opinion. He doesn't have that shitty film in his. Some are better than others, but he doesn't have that really bad movie. I hope he doesn't do that with the DC universe. Generally, we can trust he's going to put out good products. So I've got faith.
I trust in James, but I don't trust in Warner Brothers.
That's the big problem. Warner Brothers has a huge habit of shooting themselves in the foot by interfering with the directors.
Yeah, that's true. What also I want to add, there's also the fact, right, with James Gunn, he is also a true blue longtime comic book fan. However, it's a double-edged sword, because whenever he tackles a character, even if they're obscure from Marvel or DC, how he handles them is rather hit or miss.
Yeah.
So my only hang with James Gunn is for Star-Lord, they got rid of the jet boots and gave him a jet rock in the back. I'm like, now he's like every other 50s sci-fi guy. Jet boots are awesome.
I also didn't appreciate how he portrayed Drax the Destroyer as well as Mantis.
What was wrong with Drax? I thought it worked well for normies.
Let's see. Did you hear the rumors that Gunn will be the catalyst for doing a DC and Marvel crossover, and what that costs one? Yeah, it absolutely would, unless they went with new actors. You're not going to get Robert Downey Jr. for $1 in a Clark bar. You got to actually, you're going to have to shill out some money to get them over. Mm-hmm. That being said, it would, if it's made well, it can make $1 billion. Shit, a bad Batman Superman team up.
See, what I'm
almost made $1 billion. So
So this Creature Commandos, is going to be animated or live action?
Animated.
Animated.
I wonder if it's just going to flop because nobody knows who the hell these are, and they don't. They're like, "Gee, what robot is that? Oh, it's not Junkyard Joe."
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
the only people who would recognize the Creature Commandos would be us, the comic book fans.
You know what I want? I want Howling Commandos with white Nick Fury.
Yeah. Yeah, because not a lot of people are even aware of the original Nick Fury. Only Ultimate Marvel Universe, as well as Nick's son from the Battle Scars miniseries, Marcus Johnson, who changed his name to Nick Fury Jr.
In reality, Nick has multiple sons. He's got a rock.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I'm just saying that the Marvel Comics has been doing the original Nick Fury dirty for a good long while.
Yeah. Didn't they make him a watcher at some point, which I thought was the dumbest thing? I didn't read it. I heard about it because I was like, what the freaking hell's done with going on with Nick Fury? And Eric goes, oh, they turned him into a watcher. I was like, that is the stupidest motherfucking thing. The watcher isn't something. It isn't a mantle.
Well,
it's a race.
They didn't make him a watcher, but they played a role that is similar to the watcher, by making him the villain of Original Sin, also left a major mark on Nick.
It was probably like what
very stupid.
The whole Hail Hydra Captain America, that whole storyline was supposed to get rid of Steve Rogers to bring in Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
And so maybe the same thing was going on. Let's get rid of white Nick Fury so we can bring in black Nick Fury so it's more like the movies.
Yeah, even though like when Steve like lost the super soldier serum during Rick Remender's run, when he didn't change his name to Captain America. He still called himself Falcon.
And ever since that era, the all-new, all-different Marvel, who was fired from the Disney editorial and the decision-making? No one. They still there, making horrible, horrible decisions every day.
So also when Alonso was still the EIC before Sobolski came into the picture.
You know, it'd be great. Get a Sergeant Rock movie with the giant cigar in his mouth.
With the cigar, gotta have the cigar. Yeah,
yeah, and then just calling pussies and get your fucking ass up there. Yeah, I just want that. I want the vulgar. I want the real gritty. Going up and fighting against Nazis. I want that.
Who's almost 30 to play Sergeant Rock?
Well, if you want a younger guy, I mean, I know people don't like it, but Clint Eastwood's son is still like, kind of has that look.
Oh yeah, okay. I get who you say. Scott Eastwood.
Scott Eastwood gets the crap movies. I don't think he's a bad actor.
The problem is there's not a lot of movie stars. There's not a lot of that going on anymore. So when you think about, who could play that? Well, fuck yeah, let's get Mel Gibson in as Sergeant Rock. Mel Gibson's almost fucking 70. That's not going to work. So you got to get somebody military age.
Kurt Russell's son could do it too. Wyatt, or whatever his name.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Either him or Scott Eastwood would be perfect candidates to play Sergeant Rock.
Something I've been wondering lately. You guys wanted to ask you guys out of the animated universe, Bruce Timm, which character from the animated series would you say was the best? Harley or is that the only decision between those two characters, or do we just say who's the best in the entire Bruce Timm universe?
You mean like created from the cartoons that were not comic book characters?
Between the two, I would go Harley, but if you add on the comic books, then it goes back to Terry McGinnis.
I would still say Terry either way.
Yeah,
I think Harley is kind of overrated. She was all right.
Nah, I think Harley back then versus
Harley now.
Take away the 2011.
No, Harley back then was better than Terry, but now she's worse because Hollywood ruined Harley Quinn.
Now the character was killed off, and someone else is walking around in a skin suit.
A skinwalker.
Yeah.
Let's see. Marani saying no. Scott Eastwood would be a great fit to play Captain America with less nonsense than the original actor. I think actually. Yeah. I mean, they had him as U.S. agent, but I actually think the Russell kid would have made a good Captain America. But at the time, I was thinking Todd Duhamel, I think his name was. He ended up being in Jupiter's Crossing. I thought Josh, yeah. I thought he would have been the better Captain America at the time they were cast.
Actually, Reacher's
legacy.
Alan Richardson would be a better Captain America.
Yeah, but he wasn't that well known back when the MCU
I'm talking about right now. If they were still doing casting, I would know. They're going to reboot the universe.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's no more stars now. Yeah.
If we could have 30 freaking Batman Supermans, why can't we have multiple Captain Americas?
I think he's a little way too big to be a good Captain America. I think he'd be a better Thor.
The way they draw him in current comic books, man.
Thor's good.
He has little legs and like a huge torso and arms. He's like the Ed McGuinness style. So.
Let's see. I'm not sure about Deadpool and Wolverine. Would have liked to have seen True Old Man Logan movie with Renner as Old Man Hawkeye. That would fit these days.
Yeah. The new Deadpool Wolverine actually looks really good.
I am so jazzed for it. Yes,
it's probably gonna flop because people are refusing to go pay $20 to go watch a movie.
I wonder why. Why is that? Planet of the Apes needs to be seen on the big screen.
So what I say is, people stop going at nighttime to go watch a movie.
I know, right? Go in the daytime. Shit, yeah, I agree. Yeah, and by the way, AMC has a program now.
Yeah.
You pay $20, $30 a month. You get 3 movies a week. How is this? How has it become so expensive when you pay $30 a month and get 3 movies a week? It seems real weird to me.
It's because movies are getting sooner and sooner into streaming and sooner on TV.
Yeah.
Like there's a movie for that year from the January who's already on the Telecine channel.
Oh, I heard Fall Guys is going to be on HBO in like a week or 2. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'd say stop releasing movies overseas first, because then you want to get all the pirate ones in. They're the ones that pirate everything first, and then they pop up on the websites. It's all the overseas ones. It's rarely do you ever get.
It's China or India, but what we're seeing is that there is no interest anymore in the theater experience. People just wait 1 or 2 weeks or 1 or 2 months to watch on TV.
Yeah, I mean,
that's it.
It's basically people who still want that theater experience versus people who couldn't give a shit about getting that experience.
Pretty much.
Like
everything you could get in a theater now, you can get at home now. People pretty much have the giant screen.
No, I'll tell you one thing you can't get at home. You're looking up. I can't say no because there's always that douchebag with the phone. But yeah, less distractions in the theater. You can distract your own self with a whole bunch of shit when you're at home.
So no, not really. I actually watch a lot of things at home, and you know what? Whether I'm in a recliner there or a recliner here, if it's a bad movie, I'm falling asleep.
Yeah, basically.
I do find if I'm watching something on the computer, I tend to pay attention more because I got the headphones.
Yep.
The world's not coming in on me.
That's what I do.
If I'm watching on the TV, Gail will say something. Okay, yeah, what? Or the bird will be doing something, or it'll be a distraction like that. So
yeah, but that's because you are in an environment with a distraction, where someone who could just be home alone watching a movie, like they don't care, or if they tell their
do you guys know something cool about smart TVs? You can pick your headphones if they're the battery ones. If you have children or animals, or you don't want to make noise, you put the phones and you can watch on TV in smart TVs. It's super cool.
Okay. Hey, Eric.
Yo.
I've noticed we started talking about movies and you stopped talking.
No, I put Be Right Back in the private chat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
He left. He left a long time ago.
What is a good? We were doing comic book covers. Had a great time doing the war covers. What is a good horror book? Something good and gross.
Camel Armen.
He said good and gross, not gross.
I would have to say Tales from the Crypt.
What's the name of that one with the skull and all that kind of stuff?
Punisher?
Are you talking about the one with the people fighting in the out of the eye sockets and stuff?
Yeah,
that was Punch Comics. So that was the covers weren't all like that.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking up Black Cat Comics right now too.
Pat's saying Tomb of Dracula. That has some really good covers.
But if you wanted to do a cover thing, you could just do EC.
Yeah.
And between
Dark Tales from EC.
Did Atlas have a bunch of covers too?
Oh God, yes. Martin Goodman was the great imitator. So that's if EC had 5 horror comics, the Atlas would have 45.
Weird Science, yep.
Bright Knight did a comic, didn't they? Yep. Tom Holland wrote it. Not the Spider-Man. Yeah, he would have been a sperm at that point.
There was
it just came out.
There was one from Now Comics in the late 80s too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, but they just did another one a couple years ago.
Yeah, it just ended or something, or it's been.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
that's horrendous.
Well, there is actually a new Friday Night comic series, but from the publisher American Mythology.
Oh man, I wish the people who did the movies, like Remo Williams. I understand that movie it was supposed to be like a trilogy, and I think there's like a bunch of books on that, isn't there? If not, if they say Fright Night only did 2 movies, I would love Tom Holland to show me the comic book that did the 3rd movie. If you're doing continuing it, that's what I like seeing. Like when there was only 2 Ghostbusters movie, they came out with that video game in 2009. That was kind of like a new whole story, even though it wasn't it was set in the Ghostbusters universe, but it wasn't official. I love that when people start branching off into the universe, and it's actually by the people who are actually love the content. Unfortunately, today a lot of times it's done by people who thought it was troubling, and they want to change it. They want to add stuff that wasn't there before. Modernize it.
Yeah, quote unquote troubling.
Yes, Rhaegar. There's actually 5. The video game, everybody counts it as being the 3rd movie. Sorry, Afterlife, you're 4th.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to talk about a movie here because I watched it. It was fine. Why is everybody hating on Frozen Empire? That was a fun film. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst.
My only complaint was that it was too long. Too many people.
Yeah.
For a small payoff.
Okay.
In other words, it was a bloated cast of characters.
Yeah, but it still wasn't horrible. Everybody's going off on it like it's bad, but
that's
nobody's going to see movies anymore, though.
The fad is to hate everything now.
Well,
yeah, I guess so.
I won't say hate more of apathetic and less trustworthy.
Hold on, does Rhaegar have a wrench?
I don't think so. He's not a bidder. Usually, it's the a bidder.
See you later, Rhaegar.
Can I say something? You guys want to know one of the reasons why manga and European comics are so popular right now?
That's one. Well, let's not forget manhwa, even Chinese comics and Philippines.
Yeah, manhwa. You can enter in the Viz Media and you can access a bunch of manga for free. You can enter in the Mythos app and you can access a bunch of Disney, Italian comics, Polish comics for free. Old ones mostly. But you can do this.
Yeah. Rob and I were talking about this physical media versus streaming stuff. It said it's getting to the point where you could stream the same movie over and over and over again, and then it just goes from streaming service to streaming service, bounces. But a lot of these other movies are not making it to streaming. So right now, if you find collections, like right now, Jackie Chan has there's a volume 1 collection from 72 to 82. You can go buy it on Amazon.
Yeah, my wife gave that to me for Christmas one year.
Yeah,
it's got Armor of the Gods. It's got Operation Condor and all these. Yeah,
because we just reviewed Operation the first one.
Operation Condor.
Oh, no, that's the second one.
Okay. Yeah, they're fun films. I mean, it's Jackie Chan.
And my point is that I was telling Rob, I still have a VCR that can record VHS onto DVD, and I've been doing that with some of my VHS stuff films. Even though I have 3 working VCRs, like I only have one, not a tube TV, but what you call it, the box TVs you can hook it up to, because a lot of these newer TVs, unless you're paying really expensive, they're really not making it to hook up VCRs anymore.
Yeah, you gotta find. You have to use splitters and shit like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know, Eric, you've got a wall of VHSs, and it's
actually I don't anymore because I haven't had a working player for years.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, we had this huge collection, and a lot of people are like, "Well, I'm not buying any more deep Blu-rays because I have streaming now, Vudu, whatever. Why should I go buy all these physical?" That's my sister. I'm thinking like, wait till you want to go watch that movie like The Goonies, and nobody has it anymore because
the streaming it serves the masses, but not everybody fits in the masses. But unfortunately, a large enough percentage do. That it's. I mean, that's why you can't find. That's why Best Buy doesn't have them anymore. That's why Walmart is down to scraps.
Movies that are out of print.
The $1 DVD over here had a bunch of Jackie Chan DVDs.
Yeah, Amazon and third-party sellers. That's where you got to get them from now on. Because why distribute them to every store in the country and have them die when you can just have them in like Amazon hubs and you order them that way.
And not only that, like look at movies that are no longer being reprinted, or because they change copyright owners. Someone else owns that bought the rights to it. So now they have distribution. So like you're looking at movies like High Sierra or Dark Passage, any of the old Humphrey Bogart movies, unless the Warner Brothers says, "Hey, we're going to release this from the vault here." You good luck finding that. I found it on DVD at one of my records places, and it was on the old school DVDs of the 90s, where they had the cardboard things. It clipped, the plastic clipped over it. It wasn't even like the jewel case. Yeah. So it was like the old style of that, and it said like these people that they hold these movies hostages.
You guys want to know where this idea come from streaming and comic books all being digital? It was from the World Economic Forum. You will own nothing and be happy.
Well, yeah.
You will not have a printed version of your comic. You will not have a DVD of your favorite movie. It's not yours. It's for everyone.
Well, I think a lot of people realize, not what Eric said, but also they're losing money on, because say if someone doesn't want to, some people are buying the movies, they already have it, so then and that's it. It's a one-time deal. They're not going to go buy it again. This way, if you're paying a monthly service to go to watch this movie on a streaming service, they're constantly making money off of you. That's Netflix.
But as a consumer, my tastes have never run congruent. Thank you, to the masses, and I just don't want to take a chance that there's something I want to see. Like I say, I want to start The Americans again, but nobody's streaming it because it's been cycled out.
Yep.
Or I have this, probably close to 800. Because I just got rid of a bunch of them, movies that were made before 1970. Good luck finding 80% of those streaming anywhere, because it's not worth their time. That's unless at some point, like I said, I guess you have stream on demand, but even then you can't find a lot of that stuff, especially if it didn't get. Because a friend of mine used to order movies from Warner Archives, where they would basically it was print on demand, and there were things that had never gotten actual DVD releases. You're not going to find those streaming. That's just not.
I wonder how many there's John Wayne movies that are in a limited collection, but every time they release a John Wayne collection, it's always the same 4 movies. It's never like different movies. So I imagine all those spaghetti westerns, obscure ones, or just even old TV shows that are not being aired on anymore on TV Land. Some of them are making it too. I've seen Gunsmoke. I've seen Heart to Heart at Walmart. Seen all of Mission Possible, Man from U.N.C.L.E., some of the shows are starting to pop up, but like Surfside 7, you're never going to see that.
6. And
Whatever. Yeah.
You're supposed to say, I said what I said.
I did.
Where did you see Man from Uncle? Because that's
Walmart.
That's for recently.
Yeah.
No new
the whole series.
The whole series. Awesome. The whole series. Two, says Rhaegar.
The whole series.
Different era. Okay, go on ahead.
I think it's like $60.
Whoa. Okay. So, and when you say recently, how recent? Because I'll stop by there tomorrow.
Probably last week for me.
Okay.
I've been going in constantly checking it, and it varies from Walmart to Walmart. I have like 4 Walmarts in my area.
Steven Spielberg will not allow Back to the Future, so they'll wait until Steven Spielberg dies, and then you're going to get Back to the Future out the yin yang.
Does he write helicopters?
Let's see. Yeah, Disney takes a lot of stuff away. My thing is, like, we're the first HBO kids. You know, when HBO came out and it was affordable for families and such like that, there were a whole bunch of 1970s, 1980s movies which are pretty obscure. Dirk Benedict was in a First Blood ripoff called Ruckus. Hard to find, if not impossible, on anything past. It was on DVD for a little bit, but there's also a movie with Lee Majors and Chris Makepeace called The Last Chase. There's we just recently watched Tag the Assassination Game. There's a lot of those little movies like that that you just can't find on streaming anymore. So yeah, get your
no, he didn't say Uncle Ruckus from Boondocks. No, but you know what? Here's one that's out of print, and I know Eric has it, and I learned looking it up. It's like $200 an hour more. The early Gavin Mike Hammer books or TV show from the 50s. The Mike Hammer ones. The Gavin I forget what his last. I want to say Newson, but it's not. It's what's his name? The guy who played Kolchak.
Darren McGavin.
Darren McGavin. That's what it is. Yeah, you've got that. You got that for like what a time collection or something. That's or when you ordered it, or you just got it at a store because that is out of print. No one's printing it. No one's streaming it.
The Mike Hammer.
The Mike Hammers from the 50s.
Okay, if I if it's still there when my brother goes to Chicago, I will liberate it from the store and send it to you. I may send it to you by itself because I don't know if I can afford to ship everything that I'm sending you when given my current situation.
How much does that normally go for, that collection?
Oh, we're in Latonia, Kentucky, where half our customers are homeless people.
But I mean, like I've seen like stuff like Holiday Having and stuff, but like when it gets to like the 50s stuff, some of those, like I don't think I've seen Dragnet even up.
But no, you could probably get decent money for it online. But Phil hates Amazon so much because they're so antagonistic towards sellers. Amazon traced a package that we sent to somebody's front door and proof that he got it. He said he didn't get it. Of course, Amazon sides with the customer. So
Amazon
suck.
So what's really bogus about that is Amazon whenever from FedEx, they send you if you have a text alerts, they take a photo of it on your porch, and if somebody steals it after they leave and you go to pick your porch, that's on you. That's not them.
Guys, my cell phone is worth 1%. I'm going to close.
Well,
Sorry,
take it easy.
I started watching Ruckus. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.
Yep, later.
Have fun. See Sabrina, The Bird's Been Her, Arsenic and Old Lace, Modern Times, Philadelphia Story, True Grit. All these I've seen for the first time in this vintage revival theater.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't mind seeing The Birds on the big screen again, or True Grit. I think that'd be good.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to see the Philadelphia Story, actually. Not a whole lot of action, but...
Well, I would like to have this conversation, like, tying back to comics. Like, you say the same thing of comic books being, like, reprinted into trade paperbacks or even omnibuses. I mean, look at Milestone. Also, like, when for a while, like, all those titles from Static to the Shadow Cabinet, they have been been collected in trade paperbacks and omnibuses for years until later into 2010s, as with the Milestone Compendium.
Thankfully, we have things like eBay and such like that where you can pick up a lot of the obscure titles that maybe
I've been getting a lot of 90s trade or 80s trades from Marvel stuff from my comic book store. Now he's going half off, and people are selling stuff. So I mean, you get into those Punisher. I had Punisher, Paladin, and then I forgot who else was on the cover too. It was called Punisher No Escape. Shit, I've never heard of. I'm like, is in trades. I'm like, I always go for that stuff because I'm like, I don't go to Comic-Con or conventions, so I don't have access that everybody has, and my fear is I go to those, people are overcharging for those because they know you're here. I figure you're gonna impulse, you're gonna buy it regardless of the prices.
A couple things, right? Yeah, Austin, I've seen that several times. I got seen North by Northwest on a movie screen, but I haven't seen any other ones. I mean, I'm old enough to have seen some things that have now made it back into there the first time they were out, but wasn't around in 41. But yeah, excellent movie. The only time Jimmy Stewart won an Oscar.
Yes.
And the other thing, I was say, VENKMAN, I just looked up, our Walmart has it, so thank you, and you suck. I don't need to be spending $60, but by God, I'm going to, because I love the packaging too. But
that's the crazy thing. I was looking at stuff that was like Friends when the series ended. Those were like up to $200 for a complete set, but now it's like $50.
Oh yeah, well the market is absolutely cratered on that, but I think there's about to be somewhat of a resurgence. I think that's coming, because I think after a generation that just sits on their phone, I think the next generation, like listen, my brother's kids love to go place and shop for physical media, whether they're books or DVDs or what have you.
Yeah.
And and the trick is to not turn into their uncle. Moderation.
I'm at least going to play a few seconds of this. This movie is so wonderfully bad. This fighting is so horrible in this movie. It is such a great bad movie. It's called Ruckus.
When did Face get on that? Oh, there.
Yeah, he was Face at the time that was filmed. It's just wonderful. I love this film. At one point in time, he and Linda Blair they literally have a romantic motorcycle ride.
Now I have flashbacks of when him and Hoff and a couple other guys in their movie cars were racing on the track. They went a special, and they had Chuck Norris had his own thing too going on a couple years back.
Now that you've played it, prepare to get struck.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
struck.
So I know we don't have a lot of people here, but yeah, Austin's things are getting me a thing. We've probably done this at one time, but maybe we've got different people in the chat. Mm-hmm. Favorite old-time actor and actress?
Oh.
Ooh.
Sylvester Stallone. How old are we going? Like black and whites?
A little older than that because
40s.
I don't need to feel any older than I already am.
I would say for me, for actress, oh man, and I would say Anne Margaret. I like watching her stuff.
Qualifies. I mean, yeah.
For actor though, for me, it's Bogart.
How about you, Dominic?
That is a good question because there's so many. I would have to go with for actor Jean-Claude Van Damme. As for actress, I have to give it to. I should not be blanking on her name, but everybody recognizes her as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz.
Judy Garland.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's an old time. She's an old time. Jean-Claude Van Damme, not so much.
Right, you redeemed yourself, Dominic, because when you said Jean-Claude Van Damme, I think I just I went to check my mailbox, see if my social security check was there.
Look, it was either him or Sidney Poitier.
That now you're talking.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
But also
I mean,
Vincent Price, but it was hard to choose between three.
That's
Okay,
like
it said Sidney Poitier. Have you seen Blackboard Jungle?
I wish I had.
You should. It's good.
Yeah, because it's cool to see him as like the semi-delinquent student, and then 12 years later, he's the teacher in To Sir with Love, which I think is a phenomenal movie also.
So Rob and I are going to be reviewing this 1978 movie on Tuesday called Mr. No Legs. We're talking about this movie. It is hilarious when you actually see like the trailer and everything for this. It is filmed in Florida, near the Pine Hills.
I grew up in Pine Hills.
This guy has no legs, but he goes around. He shoots ninja stars from his freaking wheelchair. He has a machine gun. He's out there choking guys and just like taking out mobsters. Called Mr. No Legs. It is. Like
I would see it. I would love to see it just for the background. Because I grew up in Pine Hills in Florida. So.
We're just watching clips of it. I was like, dude, like, because we're looking for a movie on Tuesday. I'm like, we just did a Jackie Chan movie. We're like, I was going through. I'm like, what's this Mr. No Legs? So like, he literally has no legs, and he's taking out the mob one by one.
My answer for that question is kind of rough because I want to. You got to be honest, don't pussyfoot and say 2 or 3 actors when you ask for what's the one. And since there's one, it would have to be Jimmy Stewart for me because the Alfred Hitchcock films alone puts him up against Cary Grant, but you take it outside you take it outside the Alfred Hitchcock fans, and Jimmy Stewart has Harvey. He's got It's a Wonderful Life. Those are 2 huge movies. He's got the trumpet player.
Ooh.
He plays a trumpet player, and of course the Spirit. Thank you, and the Spirit of '76. He's got a lot of great movies. Once again, though, take Cary Grant out of it, and you've got both of them have, of course, the Philadelphia Story. You got Bringing Up Baby. You've got the Arsenic and Old Lace, which I think is a brilliant freaking movie. Charade for him. Winchester 77 for Jimmy Stewart, but Jimmy Stewart, I think, overall wins because I do watch him every year. But the one that is not the Hitchcock ingenue that I would say has to be, and I just said I'm going to pick one, but I'm picking 3 anyway, has to be Gene Kelly. Straight across the front. I'm a musical fan, and nobody did musicals better than Gene Kelly.
When we say, what's your top 5? Well, I have all 3 Lord of the Rings movies. That counts as one.
I'm that guy. I am that guy. Lord of the Rings. It counts because when do you say, you know what? I'm just going to watch chapter 2.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah. So it is now. It's the same thing with me. It's the same thing as Star Wars. Now I say Star Wars. First of all, it ain't a fucking New Hope. It's Star Wars. But when I say I want to watch Star Wars, I'm meaning Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Jedi. The 3 movies that were made, unlike you other people who think there were 9.
Ray Gary's talking about what Zach's favorite actor is. His favorite actress is Katharine Hepburn because he's got the same hat as her.
Yes, he does. I'm with you, E. Yeah, Jimmy Stewart is my favorite, and like I said, since and so that's my number 1. But 2 and 3, and I'm really not sure the order. Cary Grant, Humphrey Bogart. I can't think of anybody else that gets in that conversation.
Well, that's me with Bacall.
Now that's a tier list I actually have wanted to do, to be honest, and go through and start with an actor like you and I. We could figure this out. We could actually put numbers to it with what we were doing today. Start off with Jimmy Stewart, go through all of his movies, except for instead of Irredeemable, we'll put Never Seen. And it goes in there.
Yeah, because I'm that one guy who hadn't seen Harvey.
Oh my gosh! It's got one of the greatest lines of moviedom of all time. He says, "My mother told me." I'm not going to do the accent very well. My mother told me that you could be either oh so clever or what is it? Oh so smart or oh so clever. I've tried being smart. You know, it's that kind of. I fucked up the line. I'm gonna find it, but it's a great line. It's a great fucking movie. Love Harvey. Love Harvey.
Yeah, I saw part of it on Turtle Glass Movie one day, and I just turned it off. This is weird. But then again, I don't like Roger Rabbit either. So
really,
you are dead to me.
Yes.
Hey, Venkman, DM me your secret.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? Harvey and Roger Rabbit, they're classic films.
And
here it is. I've wrestled with the reality for 35 years, Doctor. I'm happy to state I finally won out over it. That's one of my favorite lines from Harvey as well.
I also don't care for Bruce Lee as much. I prefer the other actors in Enter the Dragon.
Here it is. Years ago, my mother used to say to me, she'd say, "In this world, Elwood, you must be," she always called me Elwood. "In this world, you must be oh so smart or oh so pleasant." Well, for years, I was smart. I recommend pleasant. And you may quote me. It's just such a great movie. Harvey and I have things to do. We sit in bars, have a drink or two, play the jukebox. Very soon, faces of all other people turn towards me and they smile. They say, "We don't know your name, mister, but you're a very nice fellow." Harvey and I warm ourselves in the golden moments. We came as strangers. Soon we have friends. They come over. They sit with us. They drink with us. They talk to us. They tell us about great and big and terrible things they've done and great big wonderful things they're going to do. I mean, that's good. That's fucking awesome dialogue. Awesome. Yeah, I'm sorry, but Harvey, out of this world.
Maranya is saying Maureen O'Hara and John Wayne.
All right.
So Searchers.
Quiet Man.
Oh no. Yeah, I was about to say, I got it wrong. It was Quiet Man. What was I just started watching? Big Jake, I think it was. Like rancher's son is kidnapped and John Wayne comes in. It starts off with John Wayne walking up to a whole bunch of guys hanging someone. And they said, "Does this man mean anything to you?" And he goes, "No." But the sheep here, and he tough talks them, and then he goes, "It's Dr. Bombay from Bewitched," and he got say again.
Bernard Fox.
There you go. And he says, "You watch sheep?" And he says, "Yeah." And he goes and he hires them, and he's still in the freaking noose, and the people want to hang him. And he says, "Well, now I've got an interest."
Actually, Rager, I agree with you. Jackie Chan is better than Bruce Lee as far as entertainment goes.
To be fair, we don't know. Some of the great mysteries is like, what would Bruce Lee's career? How would it have unfolded had he lived?
Basing off their early movies, Jackie Chan's very, very early stuff, and then Bruce Lee's early stuff.
Okay.
All his movies.
I get where it's coming from because Jackie Chan's early stuff was 5 to 10 years after, so you had a lot of advancement.
It was the 70s. He did, yeah. So he had some 70s. But like Jackie Chan's considered best movie is like Drunken Master. It's one of his.
That is a brilliant movie. Well, it's considered, but yeah.
And they're all wrong. It's Cannonball Run.
But I mean, being like I said, Bruce Lee, he's great and all. I mean, but it's the noise he makes. He sounds like a chicken.
That's another. I'm gonna segue here real quick because my answer obviously are the two Cannonball Run movies. Favorite movies that are, how should we say, less than critically acclaimed.
Oh, favorite bad movies. Okay.
So like the Meg.
The Meg, yeah. I named a couple of them. Ruckus is up there, but I don't know if I would consider it my favorite.
Favorite bad movies? Well, I mean, some people love Reba Williams.
That's not a bad movie. That's not bad enough to be included here.
I don't think the Cannonball Run movies are bad, but they got panned. They got panned because I think Smokey and the Bandit was unexpectedly well received, and I guess they just thought he was. And he had done Stroke or Ace. I think it said, okay, he's just phoning it in at this point. But to me, that was kind of like the movie version of a Dean Martin roast without the zingers. I mean, it's just you put a bunch of people, names and faces you'd recognize, and both. I mean, now, obviously the second one wasn't as good, and and it's no secret that Frank, with the scene with Frank, Dean, and Sammy, they're not even in the same place. Frank filmed his from behind a desk because he didn't want to be bothered.
I got one. I don't know if this is one of those questions where you think about it and then later you get another answer. But Chevy Chase, if it wasn't Vacation, Chevy Chase was panned straight up and down. But he did a movie called Funny Farm that I will watch any day of the week, twice on Tuesdays.
Ooh.
It's about, he wants to be a writer. They move out to the country, and the country doesn't turn out to be this loving community that they thought it was going to be. So they decide to leave and sell the house, and they pay the town to act like a Norman Rockwell town while people are coming in. It is a very funny film. Love that. Oh, Richard Pryor Moving. It's kind of got the same thing. He's gets a better job across the country, and that's pretty good too.
I would say, as far as I don't know if it flopped. I mean, it didn't do so well. Was a lot of the Jim Kelly movies he did.
Yeah.
After Black Belt Jones, they weren't the best movies, but they were somewhat entertaining. I kind of like them. But Paulo
Take that back, Rhaegar.
Paulo says,
89. Yep.
Now you can block him.
Paulo's favorite bad movie was Ski Patrol.
That wasn't a bad one. It isn't entertaining.
That's what I say about Rhaegar's Terminal Salvation. That was great.
Yeah, you enjoyed it. One of the most underrated character actors back in the day, Barry Fitzgerald. Do you remember him as Micheline from The Quiet Man, or Father Fitzgibbon from Going My Way?
I just dumped a Barry Fitzgerald and Betty Davis movie back into the store, and I, for the life of me, can't remember what it was.
What is the saddest sports movie? Bang the Drum Slowly or Brian's Song?
Oh yeah, Brian's Song. That's okay. Saddest sports story, fiction, because that obviously that eliminates Brian's Song.
Okay. Saddest sports movie. Generally, sports movies are let's follow the underdog raw. Yay for him. I don't know of too many sad sports movies.
I'm trying to dodgeball.
Field of Dreams.
Well, I think that had a happy ending, though, right?
Yeah, it had a happy ending.
It's a bittersweet. He gets to see his dad.
8 Men Out.
Holy shit! I just looked up and there's a commercial for Field of Dreams.
That's funny. 8 Men Out, I think, fits that because it not only talks and follows the White Sox. The Black Sox.
But that's fact. That's not fiction either. Right?
Yeah, it's a factual. But the fact that they were two guys who didn't participate but they knew about it, they still got banned from baseball. I thought that kind of
the real world part of this was Joe Jackson was illiterate, and I don't think he even knew what he was signing on for because he hit like 360 in the series and played flawless defense. I mean, he was a legitimate Hall of Fame player, but he obviously got swept up in all that, and he got banned from the game. And there's a story that Ty Cobb walked into a liquor store one day, 20 years later. Joe Jackson's working behind the counter, and he makes his purchase, and he goes, "Joe, don't you recognize me?" And he goes, "Yes, but I didn't think you'd want to talk to me." I thought that's just so sad that and from what I understand, Ty Cobb isn't nearly the bastard that he's portrayed.
That actually was brought up. There's a movie called Cobb, starring Tommy Lee Jones. It is a brilliant movie, and while I wouldn't call it sad, it doesn't end happy. It ends. Ty Cobb dies, but Robert Wool plays a writer who's following Ty Cobb around because he wants to write a biography. And he realizes that Ty Cobb, of course, they play up he's an ass bit. And he's like, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to really nail this guy. I'm going to show how horrible he is. But then he finds out that, yes, he was actually, he paid Shoeless Joe Jackson's bills. There were, as a matter of, and he would not allow Robert Wool to put any of that in the book because he respected them and he liked them as friends. So none of that actually got in, but they did in the movie. But when it came to the book, it wasn't going to be that way. And then finally, in the end, Robert Wool, after talking, he tells the story, and people are like, yeah. And then he realizes people want the legend. You know, they want what they heard about Ty Cobb. They want the sharpened spikes. You know, the racism, all the stuff that he said. One thing I did like, I don't know if it ever happened, but they were in a bar, and he was they asked to come up, take a bow, and all that kind of stuff. And he was asked if how would you bat against pitchers today? And he goes, oh, I don't know, 240, 250. And the guy goes, really? You were batting 380, you know, that kind of stuff in your head. Why do you think you would do so poorly now? He goes, because I'm 87 years old, you son bitch. I love that line. That has since been appropriated in every sport. That's a great line. It really is. Yeah, it's MK's mentioning 61. Now I said another useless sports factoid. Can you imagine chasing the all-time home run record held by a former Yankee? You're a Yankee, and Yankee fans hate you because it's not Mickey Mantle doing it; it's Roger Maris. That it's and it's like, unfortunately, Hank Aaron handled the racism that went with, breaking Babe Ruth's all-time record better than Roger Maris did, just from not being Mickey Mantle. And it's a shame because he died young. Well, so did Mickey Mantle, but yes, because Mickey Mantle destroyed his liver. But it's just I find that stuff kind of fascinating because and when Aaron Judge hit 62 home runs a couple years ago, which broke the American League record, the Maris family was there and they accepted him and congratulated him and everything because Mark McGwire had done the same thing because he broke the record first. Then we found out he was on steroids and he was in the National League. But I thought that I said that's unfortunate because I said he ended up. Maris wasn't able to finish his career in New York. He got shuffled off to St. Louis. We didn't won another world championship, but yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of movies that kind of it was very like a roller coaster for me, and that was the movie Rudy.
Rudy, that wasn't a bad movie. That was good.
That wasn't bad. I'm just saying it's there were sad moments, and there was moments where yes, from the end they finally let him play, and then up to this point when I first watched it, I had no idea it was based off a real guy. I was like, "Damn, this is really good." Then you find out at the end it's actually a real guy, and it shows a picture of him, how little he was and stuff. I was like, "Holy crap, that's your underdog, movie." I felt
the same way about The Natural. Okay, so when you were talking about the breaking the record and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to shift from baseball to a game. I don't know if you call it a sport. It's definitely a game, but golf. And there's a movie called 10 Cups starring Kevin Costner, where they talk about this caddy from so-and-so is beating all the records. I love that movie. I think it's funny as hell. And that's when I started just admitting, okay, you put Kevin Costner in a sports movie, you're going to get gold.
Did they have Cusack in that film too as well?
No, that was Don Johnson was in 10 Cups.
Oh, Don Johnson.
Yeah. It was him. Renee Russo was the girl. We had what's his name? Cheech and Chong. Not Tommy Chong. Cheech Marin. Yeah. It was a very good movie. I just enjoy the hell out of watching that. But it occurred to me, wait a second, we get Field of Dreams from Kevin Costner. You got he did a couple of them, like For Love of the Game, which is good. Draft Day, I like. You put Kevin Costner in a sports movie, it's good. It's going to be good.
Yeah, obviously there's when you talk about best sports movies, two of his will get votes for #1 all time.
Bull Durham, also I forgot about that one, but yeah, Bull Durham's cool. What do you consider the best?
Oh, Bull Durham. But there are people that will argue Field of Dreams also. And when I said that, I looked up and saw a commercial for it. It's kind of cheating because I have MLB Network on, and they own like 8 movies, and that's one of them. Yeah. So I guess it's time to show that 6 times this week. Because, yeah.
By the way, Ash is right. For the Love of the Game is very highly underrated. It's about a team. They're out of the running for the playoffs, but they're playing somebody who is in the running. What's his name? Commissioner Gordon in Justice League. He
Gary Oldman?
J.K. Simmons. Yeah, J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons is the coach, and he goes, they need this to enter the playoffs. We're not going to give it to them. And what happens is Kevin Costner has trouble in his relationship, and in his head, he's playing his relationship. Well, because he's not worried about the game, he's actually pitching a no-hitter. And it's just the juxtaposition of those two stories where you got the tension of not only the relationship, where's it going and that kind of stuff, but the game itself. And will he continue the no-hitter? It builds up. It's a very good movie. I highly recommend it.
Okay, most unrealistic sports movie, The Rookie. You know why?
What?
Do you know the story behind that?
Yeah.
Okay, Dennis Quaid played Jim Morris.
Yeah.
Jim Morris looks like Richard Jewell, the Olympic bomber.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean that one?
Had they gotten a looks accurate actor, that movie would have opened direct to VHS.
Well,
yeah,
I was going to say the most unrealistic would be Rookie of the Year, where the kid breaks his arm.
Where the kid, but yeah, he breaks his arm and it makes him a good pitcher.
But I was.
Matt, that's totally plausible compared to Rookie of the
Year. But what about Air Bud, where they let a dog on the team?
Not even close.
They could let a dog play for on a team against the Reds, and he'd still win. But
ouch. Dave Dravecki would not appreciate you saying that. He'd probably laugh, but yeah, because he's been one-armed for a long time now. But do you know what he's talking about there?
What?
Guy comes back from a surgery, pitches against the Reds. His arm snaps, and he literally had to have it amputated. But he got the win over the Reds in that game.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, so we did get the Iron Claw sad movie. Yes. Good movie too. The Wrestler, sad film, also good, and The Fighter is also sad.
There you go, because those are fiction. So
The Warrior, where you have two brothers going up against each other because they were put that way by their parents and such. That's also good. So
I was gonna say I was reading up on what was it called, Major League, with and I didn't realize that at the time when they had Charles Sheen was pitching. He was trying to perform and get better. And I guess he was on some performance drugs. I guess he cut steroids, whatever. He actually got his pitch up to 86 miles per hour, which I guess at the time in the 80s, that was actually the fastest a lot of people were going.
Who did?
Charlie Sheen.
Oh,
he was really pitching in those.
Well, fast in those days were more like 92 to 95. Now,
I remember Nolan Ryan hit 90s.
Now every reliever can hit 100, but hell. Greg Maddux probably couldn't get a tryout now because he couldn't.
Oh my gosh, best pitcher, man. Oh, I like Nolan Ryan, but Greg Maddux is pretty cool too.
No, they did a documentary. His name is escaping me, but they did a documentary about goodness, you're going to name him right away. A pitcher just he was awesome. He retires. He comes back. He even goes, I think, up against Bo Jackson bow-nosed, right?
Cal Ripken, I don't know.
Was it?
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Eric, do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
Goodness gracious.
You know what? I saw a crazy play, and I think it was back in the 2000s when things like this. It was a pitcher who got a triple play by himself. He caught the ball, then he went over to tagged the second base and then threw it to first, and basically got a triple play.
Oh, did you see the thing? It was on Twitter yesterday. Yeah. This guy, a center fielder, tagged a guy out at the plate. The whole plate just broke down. He ran in, and did you see how fast that guy was?
Yeah.
Jesus, that guy's I was motoring.
Look at Bo Jackson, who just throw it from all the field all the way to the plate.
Roberto Clemente could do that, but there's just not as much film of it out there.
I'm just saying, it's like when I see guys get
it's amazing when you see arms like that.
No.
Maybe it was Nolan Ryan. Maybe because I looked it up, and there's one called Facing Nolan.
Yeah, well, Nolan Ryan didn't retire and come back. He just pitched for frickin' ever.
And this isn't who I'm thinking of. So
I thought Cal Ripken was a pitcher, or is he a shortstop?
Shortstop.
Yeah.
You know, if there was somebody, if somebody had done something like that, I'd know who it was.
I was watching the game last night with, I think it was the Yankees first. It was on last night. What game was on last night for baseball? There was late at night, around like 11 o'clock, or it would be like to midnight. I think it was the Yankees, and Judge went to go get it. The guy hit a home runner over him.
Oh yeah, I saw a highlight of that. No, but lost train of thought here.
Choo choo.
Yeah.
It derailed.
It did. Just gone.
What?
His train of thought derailed.
Yeah.
I think it was Nolan Ryan. I'm looking up. I'm trying to find, but it was such a good documentary.
It was the Braves. I mean, Maddox was the Braves, right?
Maddox started with the Cubs, went to the Braves, went back to the Cubs, and then he was a Padre and a Dodger. So he bounced around the end of his career. I'm just
watching the highlights of him playing, pitching. This is fun.
He was amazing. But yeah, as far as getting to Nolan Ryan, he was. I can't call him one of the greats, but when he was at his best, there was nobody better because he was only like 20 games over 500 for his career. He leads. I think he's the all-time leader in strikeouts and walks, and part of that's from lasting forever. But he had a higher walk rate than a lot of a lot of good pitchers. But he also had 7 no-hitters and something like 23. And I've seen him out of one-hitters. I mean, I think maybe 16 more one-hitters. So I mean, like I said, when he was at his best, he was the best. But like I said, he was kind of inconsistent. But he pitched he came up at the tail end of 66 or 7 and pitched into the 90s.
That's him. Yep, it's Nolan Ryan. You just told the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called Facing Nolan, and I believe it's on Netflix that I saw it. Highly recommend that movie. It was so interesting.
Have you ever seen the Robin Ventura Nolan Ryan altercation?
I don't remember.
He's pitching at Robin Ventura, and he took umbrage with one of his pitches, so he charged the mound. Yeah. Ryan just puts him in a headlock and just starts punching his head in. And he gets about 6 or 7 shots before anybody can separate him.
Dude, just watching back in the 80s when they'd throw on their helmets and they just go fight. The pitcher versus the batter or whatever. And it was just great.
72 playoffs. Laren LeGros threw one, I think, behind Bert Campaneris, and Campaneris just threw the bat at him. 60 feet, and he had to leap out of the way. Let's just say bench is cleared.
Dude, Bo is breaking the bats, man.
You ever seen the John Roseboro hitting Juan Marichal over the head with his bat?
No.
Here's the thing. I said he literally just, I said, I mean that's fucking assault. That's you're arrested today.
Yeah.
Juan Marichal, they became such good friends. He spoke at Roseboro's funeral.
Wow.
It's amazing. Like I said, that their story, it's pretty interesting how they, how they got past that. Roseboro forgave and they became, good friends. I mean, that's because
he probably didn't remember getting hit.
Yeah, they're forever linked, just like Ralph Branca and Bobby Thompson. Because that's the shot heard around the world, which was Thompson hitting a home run in a 1-game playoff or 3-game playoff or whatever to send the Giants to the World Series. They for years or for decades would tour. They'd go to baseball like sports card shows together and sign. And I said because they were forever linked, and that probably kept those two men solvent for the rest of their lives. Because in those days, you didn't make you made more than the average person, but not by much. I mean, all the players had off-season jobs. My grandma worked with the Reds' best pitcher in the 30s. Yeah, that's just the way it was back then.
Oh man. But yeah, like I said, my favorites are watching the highlights of baseball when people just like had enough of the ref. just get in their face. But it was crazy to watch a game last night where the ref was. I was watching. They show the batter's box, the pitcher thing for her, and they show you like this guy, and like I'm like, oh my gosh, the ref is actually calling actual like strikes to strikes, balls to balls. It just seems like it's only like 2 freaking umpires apparently in this whole entire league that don't know how to call.
Yeah, it's problem is all of them are susceptible to the pitch and snatch or catch and snatch, where they catch the ball outside the strike zone and then just move their glove into the strike zone.
Oh, I see that all the freaking time. But I was watching last night, and the guy, like, he wasn't like Yankees guy, wasn't moving his glove into the front. He was just he'd hold it here, and the guy would actually throw it to the glove.
But Angel Hernandez and CB Buckner are legendarily bad.
Yep. Like I said, these guys must go into witness protection as soon as they get out of the games because
God, and right now
I don't understand it.
Angel Hernandez, at this point, I think he's doing it because he knows they can't touch him.
Yes,
nobody can be that bad. You've been around that long and continue to be that
the entire game, and he does it multiple games.
Yeah.
And honestly, if the Bud, whatever it is, Bud Selig, is he still in charge? Or who's
no, Rob Manfred.
Yeah. Honestly, if he really cared about the game, love of it and stuff, and actually want to improve it, Hernandez would be gone. He'd be like, sorry, I don't care union or what. He'd find a way, like, well, how about we just rotate him to somewhere else?
Here's the thing I don't understand about baseball unions and sports unions in general.
Yeah.
Well, actually, umpire unions, I guess, are a little different. The baseball union I never understood because you can't be fired from a union without, but you can get cut left and right in baseball. So, I mean, it's an odd configuration for a union, but the umpires union is more like a regular. So, and there's also, like I said, in the times in which we're living, like I said, the 2 worst umpires are, a Hispanic and a black, and
my question is
scared to death to fire them.
What do the umpires even need a union for?
So Angel Hernandez and CB Buckner can have job security.
I'm just saying, if you are that bad at your job, you don't deserve to work there. The people who actually put the effort in, honestly, actually get called. I mean, like, it's like having like a 90-year-old man, like, whoa, I can still see the pitch. Oh, 4.
Here's where you're going to see this finally change.
When one of them gets taken out of the parking lot.
No, because the sports books are running the show now.
Yeah.
Gambling has become such big business that umpire calls when it moves a line and costs. Name a sports book that's huge. When it costs them like tens of millions of dollars, DraftKings or something like that. Yeah, well, it's bigger than bookies now. I mean, these guys, bookies are small potatoes now, but these legalized sports gambling services. That's why eventually you're going to see either like the NFL still has part-time officials. Why aren't they highly trained and that is their only job? And that's going to happen. You're going to see these guys that have been coasting on, for whatever reason, are going to get moved, or they're going to go to, robot umpire, robot home plate robotic strike zones, whatever.
Yep.
So that's when you'll see this finally start to change because too much money involved now.
I got highlighted.
What is the comment? Wait a minute. Who is that guy? I can't be English because I don't hear a bird. Pistachio is a different kind of bird, by the way. No, he's upstairs right now. But I
didn't hear him last time. I don't think the few times
he puts himself to bed. It's very we've watched this. It's like it's time for him to sleep, and it's usually time for him to sleep about 11 o'clock. He will fly away from my shoulder, go into his cage. He'll make a lot of noise until I put a piece of millet in there, which is kind of like a really good birdie treat. Once I do that, he eats the millet and he just kind of lays on his platform and sleeps.
He'd always just put a memo in the box and take him out completely.
Nah, he's a good bird. He's still young, so he's a bit rambunctious. So when he is out, he's climbing and doing all this kind of stuff. But at night, he puts himself to bed.
It's been nice. It's like almost like streaming you do before you got Twiddles. Yeah. Before all this stuff, when we first met. Before the birds.
There was a before Twiddles?
Yeah.
Hey, I still miss the damn thing. Okay, I miss Twiddles still.
Twiddles was what, 2020 we got him?
No, before that, I think. Because I got him while I was still at the at my parents' house when Gail moved in. He was in the room with me all the time. It's just he really became a part of it when we moved to our own place, and he would sit on there. And yes, I show the video to Gail because she's like, I miss Twiddles, and I'll pop up an old video and there it'll be. But
you miss Twiddles? And I know I tell Gail you miss Twiddles and like to show the video. Look at the bird poop.
Oh, actually, yeah, we know about that. Yeah, birds are shit. They're shit machines. You follow them around. If you don't keep up on it, forget about it.
Yeah.
It's true. They are. They shit every 15 minutes.
Now imagine having a giant parakeet.
And sometimes it's to the point where and sometimes they'll do it flying, and sometimes but if you don't catch it, it's like, oh, what did I just put my hand?
I mean, I always thought it'd be cool to have one of those parrots that mimics everything you say, but I'm like, ooh, that'd be bad for streaming.
Yeah,
motherfucker, shit, I'm gonna kill you, mother.
I fell asleep. But this happened with both of them. It's not just a Pistachio thing, but I fell asleep with Pistachio sitting on my shoulder, and Gail comes home. She wakes me up. She goes, "You are covered," because he stayed on my shoulder. And what it is he falls asleep right here. But but when it's time, he stands up. He walks down, does his business, walks up. So Gail looks at me and she goes, "There's like." It's all just little droplets all over the back. I was like, God damn it, bird. Because I can't roll over or anything.
And she didn't take a photo? I would take a photo.
I'm surprised because she has taken embarrassing sleep.
And then she sends it to you and it says poopy.
Yeah. Now, Twiddles would fall asleep on your neck. And but no. He would never poop on you because they don't want to poop where they sleep. But they do, like, you'll notice, like, if Twiddles was on my shoulder and he was backing up, he was ready to drop load. And then, so.
I just don't want anything that could drop something that's creamy on me. If it's a Jimmy, that's one thing.
It's not. It isn't. It's usually little pellets, unless you feed them milk and then, forget about it. But yeah, it's different.
Anyway.
We went from sports to bird poop. Let's go back to sports movies.
Have we covered the second reason comics are dying, or are we just stuck on one?
It's because the reason the comics are dying because Dominic went to bed. Actually,
I talked about I talked about three of them real briefly, and then we went on. I mean, this is an old-fashioned live stream where we talk about everything damn near except for the topic. But we covered it.
The reason comics are dying because old guys are offended by the new stuff. That's better.
Yes. No.
I mean, you can't.
We are offended, but it's not better.
Would you rather read Claremont or Megan Fitzmartin? Claremont writes too much. I'd rather read Megan Fitzmartin. It's so great.
Right. That being said, if you guys want to continue, I am crashing out right here.
Wow.
I think I'm going to try to get sleep too, because I think I can before this wears off.
What I'm going to do is after you guys both leave, I'm going to leave too and just let it go.
Okay, so let's call it a day, kids. We're doing this again tomorrow, or at least we're doing the first one again tomorrow at 10:30. Hang out, talk about comics, covers, whatever. Top 10 this, top 10 that. I was talking to Eric about doing a top 10 best Golden Age artists. So if you guys have a list, if you guys want to bring in your choices, do that. 10:30 p.m. tomorrow. Just reminding you, I got here 34 minutes ago, and you're only shutting down now. And it's kind. You're kind of like what's his name, McKinley. You're called the death of, but every time you show up, it gets longer and longer. The thing stays on. What is that guy's name?
Top 10 best England Teen subscribers.
Top 10 best England Teen subscribers.
Wait a second. Never mind.
Does that count the people on, or just the people who view? And is that all time, or?
Ooh,
wait, people view?
Right. Yeah. Not according to the numbers.
I would say go back and see how many people are here regularly, how many people actually leave comments, and then tally it up.
Oh my gosh, I've got a lot of videos to check that on. Yeah. Anywho, you guys have a great time. Please join us tomorrow, 10:30, and we'll have some more entertaining conversations for you. Thank you very much to Evil Black Cat, Dominic, RDV, for keeping things going when I was basically in my own head, not paying attention to shit.
I was tempted to full review, but Eric had a really nice delivery about sports and stuff. It was great.
Yeah, and thank you very much to Eric and all of you guys. And as always, don't forget to click like, share, subscribe.
We want to extend this another 40 minutes and just
Nope. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.
Good night, kids.